One thing that I mentioned back a few days ago in my Immersion Daily, I think it was, is that I'm a really big fan of House of Cards. I love politics. I think it's one of the most interesting things in the world. It's so fun, and seeing all these interesting characters interacting with each other and trying to, find their way to power through the American government despite all its checks and balances. I just think it's the greatest thing ever. Now, the new House of Cards, the one with Kevin Spacey that first came out on Netflix Season 1 a few years ago, is an original series, and one of the ways that they paid for the show is through some product placement. They all got their nice HTC phones. Sometimes someone uses an Apple computer. Generally, their product placement is pretty subtle and nothing that's ruins the show or anything. But one of the things that I thought that they did with product placement that was really cool was they made the main character, Frank Underwood, this diabolical, despicable, ambitious politician, obsessed with video games. Not really obsessed, but he has a PS3, a PS4, he mentions he wants to get a Vita at one point. One of the ways that they stepped their game up, no pun intended, in the most recent season with all this was they actually started making a few direct references to specific video games. Like my personal favorite, there's one moment in the show where Frank Underwood is playing The Stanley Parable, a game that I absolutely love. It's shown to him by one of his colleagues that sort of explains it and explains the point of it. I freaked the fuck out when it happened when I saw it for the first time. I squealed like a fangirl, man. I love that game, and seeing it being played on this hugely popular show was so fun. It was pretty interesting to see the character himself, Frank Underwood, how he reacted to the game. Any of you who've played it, I'm sure you remember, it's a game that's sort of like a commentary on choice in video games. It's really smart and witty and funny and clever. And Kevin Spacey, Frank Underwood, this character, he couldn't get his head around the idea of it at all. He just started getting all frustrated, started raging. That was something that really told me a lot about the character, whether the writers intended for it to or not. What kind of person he really is underneath his political persona was really sort of shown through the way that he reacted to this video game. Video games can say a lot about a person and who they really are in a cool way like that. And that's something that's true for League of Legends as well. Have you guys ever noticed how top laners are typically very introverted, quiet people who are content to last hit on their island in the top lane as far away as possible from all the action happening everywhere else? Or how junglers can be very outspoken at times, very charismatic, real characters, sort of like St. Vicious with his old arguments on the old CLG, or Dominate when he got banned, or of course Sky Williams. Have you guys noticed how girls always play support? Nah, I'm just kidding around with that last one. I'm making some pretty broad generalizations here, and I realize that, but some of them do hold a little bit of truth behind them, which is kind of interesting, don't you think? I feel like video games can say a lot about people in the right context. Of course, you shouldn't stereotype people. Don't assume that all girls actually do only play support, or that all Riven players are actually the jerks that they come off as sometimes. But it is kind of cool how certain aspects of games like League of Legends can give a bit of a window into the mind of the person who's playing them. In League, how you play the game, what role you play, how aggressive or passive you are, what champions you like to play as, what champions you like to play against, it can all really say a lot about you. There are tons of different factors that are all unique to the different players that are playing each champion behind their keyboards. Some of those things can really say a lot about those players as people, I think. Then again, maybe I'm just talking out of my ass, making something up. Just making up some connection that's not even there. Anyway, though, that's all for today. I hope you guys all enjoyed watching today's video. I will, of course, see you all tomorrow. Fuck. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Good luck in solo queue, and have a wonderful day.